One local photographer is working to keep Dr. Martin Luther King Jr.'s legacy alive in a new and unique way.
Lenny Foster uses pictures to highlight the role St. Augustine and Lincolnville played in the civil rights movement. And News4 JAX reporter Aaron Farrar says he was inspired from the moment he moved to the area.
I started riding my bike in the evening and saw the Accord Freedom Trail markers. And I realized that, Dr. King walked right down this apartment that I lived on. He preached at St. Paul's AME Church on King Street on MLK, which was originally called Central Avenue. In the 80s, they changed the name to honor Dr. King. He preached at First Baptist Church in Lincolnville. They marched many occasions from one of those churches down MLK, made a right, and walked 4 blocks on King Street down to the plaza. And many historical marches took place, most of which were met with violent opposition.
And you have some of those documents inside. Can we take a look at those?
I do. I'm following in the steps of Dr. King as best I can. Come on in. This is the first image from the series, the slave market. Of course, in the 1700s, slaves were sold in a downtown market here. The series began there, and it has broadened to pre-civil rights actions in the 1800s. There are famous African-American doctors here. The first being in the late 1800s, Andrew Darnes, who was an enslaved man, and he became, upon emancipation, he became educated up north, and he became the first physician, African-American physician in Jacksonville, and the second one in the state. 1918, Dr. Roberts saved hundreds of people from the Spanish flu. They say he never lost a patient. And they also said whiskey was often used in his preparations and his medications. So we go from that era to the civil rights era. Famous luminaries such as the Harlem Renaissance painter Jacob Lawrence was stationed in the Coast Guard here, and he worked on his famous migration series. We have series, the Civil Rights, where Dr. King walked and taught and preached in Lincolnville. This image depicts him going into the First Baptist Church. And it was known that J. Edgar Hoover empowered Bobby Kennedy to follow Dr. King before Bobby Kennedy knew what J. Edgar Hoover was up to.
As you're documenting these pictures and you look at them, you realize that these are places right down the street in some cases. What goes through your mind, and what do you hope people will think about when they see these pictures?
Well, one of the reasons also for using the shoes, I thought it was easy for people to imagine themselves standing in the same place, standing in those shoes. There's an old adage that says you walk a mile in someone's shoes and you know what they're about. So in this case, I thought using shoes was an easy way for people to access the stories. So we start with the images, and also we have a little narrative for each story saying what happened, where, and when.
All right, and you say we have some more documents over on this side.
This image depicts Dr. King, Reverend C.T. Vivian, Reverend Andrew Young watching a protest at the Monson Motor Lodge, where a number of protests took place. And it was the only place that Dr. King was arrested in Florida.
And can you elaborate on exactly what happened there and the significance that it has today? Because that also is the same area where with the pool incident where acid was thrown on swimmers there, activists there, right?
Yes, I have images depicting that where civil rights activists and their friends, both black and white, the whites were guests at the Monson Motor Lodge. The black guests came in, they jumped into the pool. The owner was outraged, so he poured this cleaning acid into the pool to scare them, to discourage them from swimming. That took place. Between that incident, Dr. King asked one of his rabbi friends to bring 16 rabbis here to town to help protest segregation and the treatment of African Americans in the state. They came here to protest, prayer protests. All were arrested. But the news coverage of that incident, the pool incident, of Dr. King and Ralph Abernathy being arrested trying to enter the restaurant at the lodge, garnered national TV attention. And it was along that time that the Civil Rights Act was stalled in Congress. There was a filibuster. So there was a lull in the action. But these actions that took place in St. Augustine, which were very significant to the beginning of the Civil Rights Movement, the TV attention, the outrage nationally prompted Lyndon Baines Johnson and Congress to move forward. And finally, the Civil Rights Act was passed in July of 1964.
Now, Foster says he gets mixed emotions about his exhibition, but many people are surprised to learn the role Northeast Florida played in the civil rights movement. Now, you can see the Where We Stand exhibit next month at the St. Johns County Administration Building.